Hi there, I hope you're doing really well. My name's Hazel Eirwen and welcome to my channel Wild. So today I wanted to talk about the concept of a no-buy year. It doesn't have to be a year, but from my perspective I would like to talk about a year because that's the experience that I have. Over the years I've dabbled in no-buy years. I've watched quite a lot of varying YouTube videos about no-buy years, and people have different levels of how strict they are, the guidelines that they set and all that kind of thing. So if you are interested in doing one, I'd recommend checking out a few videos, not just this one. But to kick this one off, I thought it would be good to talk about why you might want to do a no-buy year. So to start with, I think it would be good to talk about how a no-buy year relates to my channel about sustainable living. So I think that it's a really important thing to do to help to change your mindset from that of a consumer and someone that purchases things, that takes happiness from purchasing things, and from just generally being in a consumer mindset, I suppose, and shifting that to someone that is much more intentional about the things that they buy, that buys a lot less things and therefore creates a smaller carbon footprint. They're creating less demand for fast fashion and just basically anything that creates a carbon footprint, which is pretty much anything which you purchase new or have delivered and all that kind of thing. So it's really moving away from that consumer mindset and moving to a place where you are taking joy from what you already have. You're taking joy from other things than receiving a parcel in the post or going to the shops. And I think for a lot of us within our culture, it is something that we really enjoy. I know in the past and still now I enjoy buying things. I take joy from a new piece of clothing or a new makeup or a book or whatever it is. And it's really getting out of that mindset of needing to buy new things to bring joy, because I think it really helps to understand that we are already whole without things. We are already good enough without new clothes, new things, whatever it is. We're good enough as we are, and it takes some work to move out of that mindset. So the second reason is for financial reasons, to help you financially, to save money, to stop frittering money away on things that you perhaps don't really need, that aren't essential to your life, and at the end of the day that perhaps don't bring you as much joy as in the first 5 minutes of receiving them in the post. The joy of new things can wear off pretty quickly, and it can actually be much more rewarding to save your money and see your money grow in the bank account, rather than perhaps getting coffees all the time, getting takeaways all the time, buying new clothes, whatever it is, keeping up to date with the newest technology and so on. So I think having a financial goal in mind for why you want to do this can be really powerful, because it is hard. If you're new to this, it can be very, very difficult, very, very uncomfortable to stop yourself from buying things and to completely move away from that way of doing things. So having a financial goal in mind can be very powerful, and I think perhaps you might want to set it as a little post-it note on your desk, or a little post-it note, one of those things on your phone, whatever it is, just to remind yourself of why you're saving. And just bearing in mind that even if it's something like you want to save for a deposit for a house and you need 10 or 20,000 pounds, however much it is, just bearing in mind that if you're starting with nothing now, down the line, if you're able to save up 300 or 400 pounds a month, in 5 years' time, you're going to be so glad that you started today. You're going to be so glad that you put your foot down and said, I'm not spending my money on rubbish that I don't need anymore. I'm going to start saving and I'm going to achieve that goal. Having a goal in mind is a really powerful tool and a really important reason for doing a no-buy year. So for myself this year, I've decided that I want to start putting my money into investing, and that will be a kind of long-term payoff. When you get into investing, it's something that you're putting money into for at least 5 years before you see any payoff. So I'd really like to start getting into investing and perhaps looking at more financial freedom in my future. And I want to save up for a course which will improve my personal development in my career and my own personal life. So as I mentioned before, guidelines are really, really important when it comes to a no-buy year. it's really important to come up with the guidelines when you start, so you're not kind of on the fly making excuses for things and changing your mind. I am quite relaxed about my rules, so basically my rule is that anything that I purchase out of my personal spending account, I'm allowed to buy one thing a month. So that includes kind of more essential things, like if I need a new set of pants, or if I want to buy a Japanese textbook, but also if I want a new piece of clothing or something that is less necessary. I have that one thing a month that I am allowing myself to buy, because for me, I don't want to just do this for 1 year. I've been doing it for the last couple of years. Due to the state of the world, I did kind of fall off the rails a little bit, but I really want this to be a long-term way of living. And I have to say that in my first year, by the end of the year, I didn't buy 12 things basically. I bought less than 12 things. So when you start, your brain is still very much in that I want to buy things, I need things, buying things makes me happy mindset. So as soon like 1st of January hits and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I need this, oh, I should have bought this before I started. Don't stockpile things before, because that really defeats the point of a no-buy year. And your brain is just like, I want this, I need this. And it takes time. So like 1st of January, I think I probably bought something and I was like, right, now I have to wait till the 1st of February. And it was literally like waiting for that next month. Okay, I can buy something. And I think having that, knowing that I could buy something, really helped me, because I know if I say to myself, you're not allowed to do that, I really want to do it, and it's not going to be a long-term sustainable thing for me to do. So having that once a month buy something, even if it's something that is kind of essential, like moisturiser, whatever it is, I found that really helpful. And over time, as I said, that need and that impulse to buy things definitely reduced. So that's what works for me. But for some people, they want to save for 1 year and they want to buy absolutely nothing. So they're not going to get their hair cut, they're not going to get their nails, not that I get my nails done anyway, but as an example, they're not going to do anything like that for a year, and that's what works. So what you need to decide in advance is how long are you going to do this for, and what exactly are you going to allow yourself to spend money on? Are you going to allow yourself one takeaway a month? Are you going to allow, or is food not included in your no-buy year? Are you going to say, I'm not getting any of anything? You know, just decide what rules you want to make, your guidelines, and for how long, and stick to that. Just stick to it. And that is that in terms of the guidelines. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of discomfort in changing the way that your brain works, in changing your way of thinking, your way of doing things. And I think sitting in that discomfort, understanding it is uncomfortable, and that buying things is a crutch for a lot of us, and it's really all kinds of emotions. I think for a lot of people, buying things to make us feel better when we're sad, buying things when we're really happy and we're having a great time and we want to celebrate something. There's so many reasons to buy things, and so many reasons that we kind of rely upon in our lives to buy things. And it's really understanding that it is, if that's how your brain is currently wired, it is going to feel uncomfortable. And it feels uncomfortable for me, even though I've kind of been doing it. I definitely relaxed at the latter half of 2021. And it's definitely 1st of January and my brain is thinking of a million things that I want to buy that I hadn't even thought about wanting to buy at the end of last year when I wasn't putting any guidelines in place. So it's just sitting in that discomfort, understanding that that will pass and it will get easier, and you are changing kind of the synapses, you're changing what your brain does, what your brain wants. So understand that that's really normal, and that is exactly why you're doing this. You're doing this to change those synapses and to really sit through that discomfort and change the way that things are, change the status quo at the moment. So I think from that, you don't want to just sit in that discomfort and not replace your joy or your way of doing things. So I think decluttering is a really positive thing to do. Kind of go through all your stuff and think about what it is that you want to keep. I think if you're someone who does have a lot of stuff, you end up not appreciating anything because you can't see what you've got, you can't enjoy what you've already got. So decluttering, taking things to the charity shop, selling things on eBay as well, making some extra money, that can be a really, really positive thing to do. And another thing is actually using what you have. So if you have a really strong urge, you really want to buy a new book or whatever it is, buy a new DVD or whatever people buy, a game, whatever it is, go and have a look at what you've already got. Have a look at your collection. There's probably books on your shelf that you haven't read. Make it a challenge to read one of your books that you currently own, or one of your games that you currently own, play through that, whatever it is. Use what you already have and what you're already enjoying, what you already like. And if you don't want to read it and you don't want to play it, then you can probably get rid of it in your declutter because you don't want it. And other things like makeup, skincare. If you're someone that buys a lot of makeup and skincare, which I certainly have been someone that's done that in the past, which is funny because I barely wear makeup anymore, but use up what you have. Declutter, get rid of anything that's out of date, anything that's going to make your skin flare up, get rid of that, and then you can recycle that in your local Superdrug and Tesco stores, any old makeup and skincare packaging, and get rid of anything old, and then start using up what you have, because I bet if you're someone that buys a lot of makeup, you have more than enough to last you a year. I bet that you have more than enough to last you a year. So yeah, basically, don't buy anything new. Get yourself out of that consumer mindset and into a sustainable mindset. Really cherish what you have. And the other thing is that it's cherishing what you have, and then it's being really intentional about what it is that you do buy. So if you do this for 1 year, I bet that next year, either you will want to continue because it's been a really positive experience, or your way of thinking will have changed and you're going to be really intentional about how you're spending your money, because seeing your money grow in a bank account is really positive. And living in an environment where you aren't cluttered with stuff and you aren't always getting new packages and things filling up your space, it's really, really positive. So I hope this video has been helpful. I would love to know if you're planning to do a no-buy year and what your rules or guidelines or whatever it is are. That would be brilliant. So please do comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram. At the moment, I'm doing a daily stories post about my outfit of the day, because kind of promoting or normalising wearing clothes over and over, outfit repeating, that's the word. So normalising outfit repeating, because I'm not planning to buy any new clothes this year. So follow me on Instagram, the link's down below, and please do like, please do subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to have you around. Hopefully you'll enjoy my future videos as well. So thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye.